people in the looking glass. We're crossing a little milestone in the Security Advisor house shortly. Our youngest daughter's taking her first solo road trip. So I thought we'd have a look at what kind of things need to be in your car for a successful and safe trip. Here we go.
Shut up and sit down.
So first of all, I've stuck a couple of things in the door here, which are critically important. You could never have enough pepper spray. And then because we live in the world of COVID, there's got to be something to sterilize your hands. In the opposite door, nice and clear, which says medic kit, because when you're panicking, you need things that guide you and help you. She's got a little traveling first aid kit, and the kind of things that are important there: lots of gloves, space blankets, and she's going on a trip to a game farm. So and that typically is the time when people like to make fires. So I've put a burn shield in there because that's just the kind of thing that people like to get up to and need when things go awry. The next thing I've added is a little grab bag. It's a fashion accessory I know she's going to positively hate. But what's important is that the tools and the gadgets that I've put in there for her are things that I know that she can use. There's people that speak volumes about grab bags, and there's all sorts of things that you can put in, but it's no point in putting objects in there that are not equal to the person's skill level. So keep things in there that you know the person's going to use, and obviously it must be easily accessible. So this fits nicely in the cubby hole here, and like I said, it's not terribly fashionable, but it'll sling quickly on your shoulders or around your wrist, and you can get moving, and you've got everything you need in here. So just to start with, I've got an extra little pepper spray, because like I say, what the world needs is a lot more pepper spray. We've got a good strong flashlight that goes in here. I've given her a multi-tool. Again, I'm not sure if this is something that she'll use, but you can never go wrong with a good pair of pliers. And then some cash. And there's a reason for that, because when you're going on a road trip, you're traveling through rural areas, and you're in an emergency. You need to get a lift from someone, you need to buy some water from someone, you need to buy some help, and they're generally not going to have a convenient credit card machine. So stash some cash. This is going to buy you help when you're in trouble. I've also found I've got a nice object here which can be used for breaking through windshields. It's got a seatbelt cutter on it. This particular one has a nice flashy light on it. And then added another set of gloves for good measure. And there's all sorts of other things you could add to this if you want to. It's probably not a bad idea to put a space blanket in there, which you could modify into a poncho if you need it, and maybe a bandage or two. But it's really just something that you can pick up, open, sling on your shoulder, and get out of there. A reflective vest that fits in there is also a good idea. On the cell phone front, the car's got a charger, and I've included a charger cable because that is our primary way of calling for help in an emergency, and you want to have a nice full battery. And then on the actual phone, what is valuable is there are a large amount of apps available which enable you to stay in contact people and to track that phone. So it means that without being too big brotherish about it, I can actually just check out where she is, and I can see where last that phone was without having to go into too much emergency gear and requiring emergency services. Moving to the back seat of the car, I see she's included the mandatory game of 30 seconds. Now, this is not necessarily an important piece of emergency gear, but it is an essential piece of camping and road tripping gear. You never know when you might have to stop off and play a game of 30 seconds. But what I've added to the mix is under the seat here I've got 2 liters of water. Amazing how versatile that water bottle can be. You're stuck on the side of the road, you want to keep yourself hydrated, you've got water. You need to cool something metallic down, you've got water. You need to fill up your radiator, some kind of bottle or tank in the vehicle, you've got the water. And you could even cut that water bottle open and use it as a funnel. Let's say you need to fill up petrol, or you need to fill oil into some part of the car. I've also put under the seat a fire extinguisher. Over the years I've seen people's engines catch on fire, and it hasn't even been for myself. I've helped one person whose engine catch on fire, and I happen to have that fire extinguisher, and it turned out to be quite a handy thing. To go into the tyre well area, obviously you want to check that you've got a nice firm spare tyre. It's happened to me that I've dealt with flat tyres, and you want to have your jack and your wheel spanner and your emergency triangle and all that kind of gear. It must be there. But if she gets a flat, I don't want her to stop off on the side of the road and start fighting with that stuff. The longer a single person is on their own on the side of the road, the more vulnerable they are. So I want to get her moving as quickly as possible. And you get these aerosol devices which allow you to fill the tire up, so you'd simply take the cap off and you could fill up that tire and at least get it reasonably full so you could hobble along to a place where you could get some help. I see that while I was digging around in here, and I guess this is a student car, and I'm not sure if these are part of her emergency equipment, but they were sitting here, and I really am now seeing the world through a rosy set of spectacles. But what it really comes down to is fortune favors the prepared. So you want your young person to go off and have an amazing road tripping experience because they're well equipped, and if they need something, it's there. If you look in the show notes below, I've included a link to my blog where there's a more extensive list of items that should be in a person's vehicle. So check that out. Until next time, keep safe. Did I forget the headlamp? One of the most important things you can have. Light that hangs free. And what about a lighter? Because you never know when you're going to need to start a fire. And the spare mask for the plane. If you've got anything else to add, stick it in the comment section below. Till then, happy trails.